Welcome back. So today we're going to talk about two concepts that kind of tie in together. One is the path of least resistance. The second is going hard on what comes easy to you. Now, why are these important? Well, when it comes to changes and it comes to behavior change and modification, the cool thing is we're already doing everything that we need to do to change our life, our behavior, our body, our mindset, our energy. We're already doing it. The challenge is we might not be doing it in the doses that are most effective for us. And when we think about those doses, what does that mean? Well, it might mean that the foods that we eat, we're already eating, right? So that's the process. But our behavior in that process, for example, is let's say we're eating packaged and processed foods. We're talking like microwave foods, like quick, easy foods that probably don't support our body with the correct amount of nutrition that we need. It just keeps us full. And recognizing that there's a difference between fullness and nutrition, we realize we need to make some changes, right? So if we're already eating, we can make changes in that behavior. Let's say that we're tired and we're not getting enough sleep. We're already sleeping, okay? So we want to think rest, recovery, rejuvenation in that category. Let's say we want to change our body. We want to exercise more and we want to lift heavy weights and get stronger and change our body composition. We're already moving, right? We might just not be moving the way that we want. Or we need to get our goals. So let's say we're not doing the right things. Like we're just starting from scratch and we're not there at all, okay? And some people are starting there and that's okay, right? Starting is what's important. It doesn't matter where you're starting. Fact is that you're starting. The very first thing we want to do is take a look at what we're already doing. We got to take stock. Now, easy ways to take stock, and we're just going to stick with those three categories. There's lots of other ones, but we're going to stick with these three. We're going to stick with sleep, like rest, recovery, rejuvenation, sleep. Then we're going to go to nutrition, right? What we're ingesting. That could be our hydration, liquids, foods, things like that. And then what's making us full or hydrated. And then last will be our movement, our exercise, where we're going to be in regards to those. Now, we don't have to start all of them at the same time. We don't have to always start with sleep, and we don't always have to start with water and nutrition. We don't always have to start with movement. What we're going to discuss is starting with the one that's going to be easiest for you. Okay? So, and this is what's cool. And you're going to find this is probably a little too easy to make sense in a way that you feel it's going to have any sort of measurable results. But consistency of doing the right things is what we want to look at. So if we think about sleep, let's say, how many hours a night are we sleeping? Just jot that down, okay? Then we look at our meals and we say breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, or whatever you eat during the day. And we just jot down all those things, right? And we put down each of the meals, and for each of the proteins, you can just put a P next to the meal. So put your meal and your snacks, and protein, carbohydrate, fat, if you're just writing it out. If you're logging it in something like MyFitnessPal, you can just look and it'll calculate those for you. And then, so fats, proteins, carbohydrates, vegetables, fruits. And then for our exercise, what kind of movement are we doing? Are we exercising? Are we walking, running, jogging, elliptical, recumbent bike, working out, boot camp classes, personal training, rock climbing, surfing, moving, dancing? Doesn't matter. Just write down what you're doing, okay? So now you have a list. Now for some people, you might be, wow, this is pretty amazing. Some of you might be like, wow, I hope I don't have to share this with anybody. And both, again, are good, okay? Because you're already doing something. Nobody starts at zero. You're already doing something. Now, if we take you're not starting at zero, and you already do something, the lowest hanging fruit is doing more of what you're already doing. Okay, that's the easiest thing. Now, some of you might be saying, oh, no shit, Mike, yeah, that's easier said than done. Well, yes and no. Let's take sleep, for instance. Some people are like, well, I can't sleep more. Maybe it's not about sleeping as much as we think we need to sleep more. If you're sleeping 4 hours, you need to get to 8 hours. There's a reason for that. Okay, it might be, there's a million different things that could be going on. It could be blue light, stimulation, fear of missing out, having to get up early and go to bed late because of work. There's lots of kids, other responsibilities. There's a million things, right? So when we think about that, it might not be we're getting an extra 4 hours of sleep. It might be that we start our winding down ritual 5 minutes early. 5 minutes. It doesn't seem like much, but it gives you the power to know that you can do just a little bit more, okay? Now, why do I say go to bed a little bit earlier than sleeping in a little bit later? Well, most of us have a designated time we have to get up. So by starting a little bit earlier, our routine 5 minutes earlier, it allows us to create conditions throughout the day that allow us to do that 5 minutes earlier. Let's say that we don't have that opportunity. Let's say sleep is set, we're not able to address it. Then we want to think of different things. How is a lack of sleep affecting us? Could that be our energy? So if we're coming down to, say, nutrition, we want to change our energy doing something else. And we want to have supportive nutrition to build our energy. And this could be for anything, but this is just something that we're already doing. We're already ingesting things, right? So what we would want to do is we'd want to take the good. So let's say we have a protein and we want to increase that if we're low on protein. If we're eating a lot of starchy carbohydrates, perhaps we do something better by reducing a little bit, right? It doesn't have to be a lot. It'd be a couple of bites. Let's say we get 3 scoops. This time we get 2.5. Little steps of things we're already doing. Remember, we don't always have to add. We can always subtract a little bit and begin to pay attention to that. Let's say we don't have any vegetables on our plate. We can start by just adding vegetables that we like. Okay? They don't have to be, you don't have to eat all vegetables. It doesn't have to be a salad. It can be vegetables that you like. So jot down a few different ways and vegetables that you already enjoy. And this is going to sound super silly, man, but I'm telling you, double down on the lettuce, the onions, and the tomatoes on your burgers, right? Like I'm saying super simple, just start, okay? From there, let's say we need to work on hydration. So we're going hard on sodas right now. And so let's say we move that to something that's, we add water either throughout the day, or let's say we go to a diet soda, or let's say we're drinking juice. So now we go to flavored water, okay? Or sparkling flavored water. I don't know if you've ever had like bubblies or LaCroix, but they're tasty. They grow on you. So there's little things that we can do. And I'm not telling you what to do. What I'm saying is make small changes in the direction with things that you're already doing. Let's say it's exercise. And let's say it's non-existent. It just doesn't exist. But let's say you got to go get your mail every day, okay, or every couple of days. Do the lap twice. There, back, there, back. It's going to seem simple, but it adds up. And these are the things that start to build the confidence and success in your own ability. Doing the little things. That's little things that you're already doing. So path of least resistance is don't find things that you have to fight that are good for you. And forget what everybody else says. If you got something that's good for you that you enjoy, do it. Just do it. If you got something that comes easy to you, do more of it. Let's say you love dancing, but you hate jogging. Then we found your cardio, right? Figure out ways. YouTube videos, dance programs, dance studios, group classes, tons of stuff. Say you love hiking, right? But you haven't been hiking for a while. Instead of saying, oh, I want to go for a hike, make a list of hikes. Start small if you need to. Find hiking clubs and like meetup.com. If you're around here, we've got hiking clubs here, right? Facebook is a great one. Find tons of them. Find things that you enjoy and do more of it. What you're going to find is it's not the things that come easy to you that's a problem, right? It's not the things that you can do more of that are the path of least resistance that are the problem. It's going to be the detractors. It's going to be the things that take that away. So what I want you to focus on is very, very small wins. And you might get a couple of them throughout the day. But make a list of things that you can do. Make a list of things that come easy to you in terms of rest and recovery. Maybe you like to meditate. Maybe you like to stretch. Maybe you can just sit down, take a minute. Maybe you like to sit outside on a bench. Maybe you like to read. How do you feel rejuvenated and recovered? Number 1, sleep 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Start the ritual and create conditions. Hydration, sodas, diet sodas, juices, flavored waters, water, sparkling water. Okay, you need to add more vegetables, fruits, find things that you like. You need to add more protein, have another serving of what you have. You need to reduce your carbohydrates, reduce it incrementally. Small changes, huge results. Okay, small things. Need to exercise, do more of what you're already doing. You can do the exact same exercises with a greater range of motion, right? You don't need to add more weight. Focus on your breathing. Figure out things that you enjoy. If you like lifting weights, then go lift weights. You like doing cardio? Find cardio you enjoy that your body can be prepared for. Do what comes easy that you can do well. If you have questions about refining those things or about identifying least resistance or what comes easy to you, get involved below, ask some questions. I'm sure you're going to get some helpful feedback. Can't wait to hear from you. I'll talk to you soon.